Senator Banks. Senator Reed, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, Mr. Chairman. I believe you'd agree that the SEC's job is to recover investors' money and impose penalties when our security laws are violated. And I also would think you'd agree that securities fraud and other violations of the security laws are still prevalent, too prevalent. So I raise these points because under your watch, SEC enforcement has begun to disappear before our eyes. Between 2024, your predecessor's leadership, and 2025, staffing at the SEC has been cut 17%, with huge cuts to the enforcement division. The enforcement budget has been cut in half, falling from $1.4 billion to $731 million. Not surprisingly, monetary settlements declined 45%, falling to $808 million, down from $1.9 billion in the previous year. Disgorgement, the money that you require violators to repay to the victims, that's declined to $108 million, down from the previous year of $6 billion. That's a 98% drop. And it's the lowest in modern era by far. And this clearly indicates to me that the SEC is not dedicating the necessary resources to fighting for investor protection and market integrity. And the last time the SEC was shredding staff and resources on this scale, it missed Bernie Madoff's fraud and the practices on Wall Street that led to the Great Recession. And I believe you're going down the same path. Will you commit to restoring the resources for the enforcement division and enforce the laws, not only to protect individual consumers, but the integrity of the markets?
Well, I'm not sure where you get your stats, so I don't really agree with them.
Well, let me tell you where I get my stats. The data regarding the enforcement budget is from your own agency financial report published on January 16th. Data regarding penalties and disgorgement is from private sector analysis from Cornerstone Research and the law firm of Paul Weiss. And we need to rely on these reports because your agency, the SEC, has not published the Enforcement Division report for FY25. Usually that is done in December. So you're either deliberately obscuring what you're trying to do, or
Well, that's wrong.
well, then when are you going to publish?
We had
the
a
report?
43-day and 43-night shutdown that really, threw a lot of our processes off. We're about to come out
When?
with an enforcement here in the next few weeks here.
And
I'm
it
not
will
sure
reflect
exactly.
these numbers.
Well, we'll see. I don't know again,
don't know.
but a lot of what you're talking about as far as penalties go were never collected. They are, it's kind of like a ghost sort of thing where they're assessed but not collected. So
Well, you don't
that's
even
one
assess
thing.
them.
Well, we are actively enforcing the rules. We have a lot of these people left voluntarily or through buyouts before I arrived at the SEC. So I'm looking at our numbers of employees, and I think we have a very good group of people in enforcement.
No, you have deliberately cut the enforcement. That's part of the DOGE operation because it plays into the administration's plan to weaken the controls on capital in the United States.
I disagree.
And-
That happened before I got to the SEC. So anyway.
Gee whiz, what have you done since you got there?
We've been looking at we have been working actively to, look at our budget and what we need.
What do you expect to be the number of people in the enforcement division in the next, say, 3 months? Are you going to start hiring immediately?
We have gaps around in different divisions, and so we will fill that. But we had people retire by definition. That means that they had been there for a while. So this provides opportunity for younger people to rise up.
They retired because DOGE was running through SEC like every other agency.
I disagree.
Well,
That DOGE and SEC,
why would
from
people
what I
reti-
understand, were focused.
why would people
IT.
at the prime of their careers retire? Because I think they felt that the direction they were going was something they did not want to participate in, which is sitting around as Americans are exploited and as the markets decline. let me change.
People have other types of opportunities, and I've talked to many of the people who retired, many of whom I knew from my former time at the SEC. So I think to blanket paint it that way is inaccurate.
Senator Reed, your time is up. You want to ask a question for the record?
Mr. Chairman, absolutely. I will submit questions to the record. No, that's quite all right.
You want to give us a synopsis real quick?
The synopsis is, I think we're headed down the path to a financial disaster. I note for the record, Senator Warner and I were the only two members on this committee that were here to write Dodd-Frank, to put corrections in place. The ranking member was in the administration helping us. And we saw this coming.
My definition of a synopsis ended about 10 seconds ago.
Thank
you. Senator Haggerty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.